Hey everyone. For today's topic, I wanted to discuss the saying, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. I absolutely love this saying because it captures something that I am a thorough believer in, which is it's better to be prepared for really bad things and to not need that preparation because you never encounter said bad things than to not be prepared for them and then you encounter them and you're completely screwed. I don't give in to paranoid ways of thinking, so I don't believe people should do this because they're literally afraid of those things happening to them. It's more so just it's better to have some form of training in case bad things befall you. And that training doesn't even necessarily mean like physical training, although I do believe it's good for people to know how to defend themselves. It could even just be mindset training or having some idea of what you would do in certain situations were they to happen. Like even in a car accident, what would you do? Do you have an idea of that? Or maybe if you lose a loved one, do you know how you would react to that situation? And then of course some more, I guess common isn't quite the right word, but they still happen. What if somebody tries to rob you on the street? Do you have an idea of what you would do in that situation? And then, for the sake of this quote, what would you do if you were drafted into warfare? So, yeah, I really like this saying because it's all about that preparedness and that it's better to be lethal and to not need your lethality than to be completely weak and thrust into a situation where you have to be strong, but you're not prepared for it. This is why I so often encourage people to go to the gym and become stronger. It's not even to get girls. I mean, to be honest, you don't even really get girls from having muscles. It helps though. It certainly helps. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not going to make them approach you. So that that isn't going to quite work. But it's good to be strong for your own sake. Like the reason I work out is because I want to be stronger so that I can handle almost any situation life throws at me. When I was younger, I used to get bullied. Not so much physically bullied, although that did happen from time to time, but more so I got emotionally bullied. But the people who messed with me because I was weak. I was an easy target. And I don't know why it wasn't physical bullying. I guess they were cowards, but yeah, I almost wish it had been just because that probably would have been easier to deal with. But regardless, since I was weak, I was a target for bullying. And that always made me want to become stronger at some point because I knew people don't mess with targets they believe are strong. Even when it comes emotionally bullying someone, people who are cowards like that aren't going to mess with someone who's physically strong and intimidating. Like if I had been incredibly fit and strong back then, they wouldn't have messed with me. Because even though emotional bullying, it's not physical, they're probably not going to immediately expect you to fight them over it. They're still going to know if they poke you enough. It's like poking a bear. At some point, the bear is going to wake up and eat their face. So people don't mess with targets they believe are strong and tough. So that's one of the main reasons why I work out. That's not the main reason. As I said, it is to get stronger, to be able to handle anything life throws at me. Even just lifting heavy objects. If heavy things were to fall on me in like a tragic situation, I'd want to be able to lift them off me. Or if I needed to move something heavy out of the way, I'd want to be able to do that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'd prefer being strong so that it means my punches hit harder as well and my kicks have more force behind them. That helps too because it makes you less of an easy target for all the bad people out there, because there certainly are a decent amount of them. So I just always believe it's better to be prepared to handle almost anything life throws at you than to be weak and fragile. Like there's no, Jordan Peterson often says this, but there's no virtue in being weak. And there isn't. Like I don't get why society, movies, and entertainment media likes to often portray someone who's weak but intelligent as like a good thing, because wouldn't it be better to be strong and intelligent? Like, why not be physically strong as well and also be intelligent? That's the best of both worlds in my opinion, but so many depictions on the media are of these really intelligent but fragile, completely weak people. Like think Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. Dude is smart, brilliant, but he's weak and pathetic. Like he's a toothpick. You could break him with your hands. And yet that's like the depiction that the media plays out to be a good thing. Like, oh, it's better to be smart than strong. But I always think, why not both? Why do we have to act like one is better than the other? Because in certain situations, either one can be better than the other. If someone is beating you up, it's probably better to be strong than intelligent at that point. Even if you're intelligent, what is your intelligence going to help you with in that moment? But then, of course, if you're trying to solve a puzzle, it's better to be intelligent than strong. So that's why I always say, practice both. If you're already smart, become strong. You'll be one of those rare individuals who are very difficult to deal with because, hey, you can protect yourself physically, and up here, you know how to outsmart people, and you're mentally tough as well. So, yeah, it's just, I'm passionate about this, as you can tell. I just think it's so ridiculous when people don't want to aspire to their full potential, because aspiring to your full potential would be trying to get to the peak that you can possibly achieve for both your mental and physical capacities. Even the Greeks talked about this, the Greek philosophers. I forget who exactly said it, but yeah, I need to look up that quote again because I need to figure out who said it. But one of the Greek philosophers said something along the lines of, it's a tragedy for a man to grow old, never having reached his full potential for like his physical body as well as mentally, because he was talking about becoming physically strong, like a bodybuilder, as well as working on your intelligence. But so many people choose one route or the other, and I would say most people err more in the side of becoming intelligent because it's easier. Well, maybe it's not easier per se, but I guess it is actually. Physical training is very tough and rigorous, and it's not something everybody wants to do, and it requires a lot of time and dedication. It's a lot easier to work on your mental faculties because that's just like reading books and whatnot, watching videos, learning new things. You don't necessarily need to be, it's not physically taxing. So many people go that route because it's easy. But I would say, why not go the physical route as well? Why not train hard, become physically strong, and be prepared to handle anything life throws at you, because you'll have both mental intelligence and then the physical strength to go along with it. Like, that makes you a very rare individual. So yeah, it's kind of funny how this is where the conversation ended up, from just that saying of, yeah, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than gardener in a war. But seriously, guys, practice that. Like, I would much rather be, as that quote says, a very lethal, dangerous individual who's just gardening, doing a very, like, almost banal activity, versus being completely weak and fragile and thrust into a situation of war. Like, yeah, it's just better to be prepared for anything life can throw at you, because you never know what the hell will happen in life. And governments, if our history is any example, governments almost always go the route of trying to become as powerful as possible. And that's almost always the route they take. So that usually means at some point there will be war. Heck, we're seeing it right now in Ukraine, and the US is trying to, well, some politicians in the US are trying to get us involved there. So there you go. It doesn't take much to actually make that saying become a reality. So just be prepared for anything life can throw at you. Don't only just work on your intelligence or your physical strength, work on both. Become the best human you can be. Become prepared for almost any situation life can throw at you, because you never truly know what it will throw your way. And anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. I truly hope you enjoyed this one. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.